So, good morning, everyone. And this morning we're talking about sales and selling. And it's one of those hot potato subjects that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about money. And I can remember going into some of the biggest companies talking about selling. And when it comes to somebody's role, nobody would admit it was their job to sell. And it's almost like this hot potato people will pass on. Oh, no, they're in charge of selling. Oh, no, they're in charge of selling. So it's very different this morning because we're all in charge of our own sales. And then it's really thinking through, oh, no, I'm in charge of selling. And if I'm employing somebody, because I used to employ 3 people in the Iron Woman office, and I used to say to each of those 3 ladies, I'd say, what are you in charge of selling? And they'd look at me blank and say, oh no, you're in charge of selling. And I'd say, no, I'm paying you a salary. Your role connects to selling and sales. And what is it that you are doing as part of your job that connects with selling? And I know a lot of you have met Nikki Bright, and it was really interesting when she was speaking at our last meeting, when she was talking about if she employs anyone now, she puts them also in a sales role, whether it's social media or what is it that they can do to help progress their sales environment. So before we go into the topic, I would love to know, when it comes to you, what is it when it comes to sales and selling? Are you good with it? Are you pretty lousy at it? Does it scare you? Where are you at when it comes to this whole notion of selling? Do you know how much you've got to sell? What are your goals for 2025 when it comes to selling? Who's going to keep you accountable? What happens, when you're not hitting your targets? Or are you actually exceeding your target? So let's get to the heart of you and what it is you're trying to achieve when it comes to this topic of sales and selling. So unfortunately, Mel, you were first one in this morning. So we're going to come straight to Mel and put her completely on the spot to explore with Mel when it comes to sales and selling. So I know she hates it. So Mel, over to you. What is it about sales and selling that, bugs you in a way?
I think from my perspective, it's because it's definitely partly a sort of confidence type thing, because it's really strange, because when I go in and consult and I deliver the training and I do the assessing and whatever else for the people that I consult for, the reviews I get are quite excellent most of the time. And even when I was just saying that, I found that really uncomfortable to say that. So I think kind of selling myself is, for me, I do hate it. You're right. I find it difficult because I don't believe in myself enough, I think. And also, I'm always conscious that there's so many people out there who are doing what I'm doing, and they're doing it really well. And so I think, why would people come to me rather than go to them?
Yeah, so a bit of
That
a
makes sense.
running.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it was really interesting when Lucy opened her amazing studio in Newport. I was rallying everyone around, trying to get them to Lucy's premises. As soon as I got there, I was hot on the camera, doing little video clips, taking loads of photographs. I must have taken, probably around 50 or 60 photographs for Lucy, sent them all off to Lucy, all that kind of stuff. And it was like a few days later, I thought, God, Cheryl, why didn't you do that for yourself? You found that so easy to do for Lucy. When I go to Sarah's, at 1 o'clock today, I'll be wanting to take some great shots of Sarah, using the machinery, all this kind of stuff. But I'm thinking, why didn't I do that for myself ongoing? Yeah, it's so much easier to sell somebody else than it is yourself. Yeah, you can say all these wonderful things about other people, but it's so hard to do it for yourself. So Lucy, over to you, because you have phenomenal training and expertise in selling. So, but can you sell you? Do you struggle selling you?
Um, I don't, but that's because I think, from a sales background. And I think, as you know, I do believe in myself and I do believe in my product, and that, you know, that does help. I also work with a lot, you know, obviously I've got 40 sales advisors. So, you know, and they come from all walks and lives. And so I know it is a struggle for a lot of women to put themselves on camera, to put them out there. But and that's probably the most fundamental part, is that you've got to have belief in yourself, and you have to have belief in your product, because that will show in when you're presenting. And if you have got that belief, people will buy into you without any doubt. Yeah, you know, it's I, I feel I don't want to ever come across as, you know, boastful on that. And that's the very clear line, isn't it? Because when you put yourself out there with social media, you know, last weekend I went on a holiday to Monaco because of our results. And there is a fine line that you know, of you know, saying, oh my gosh, I've done all this, it's successful, but still obviously feeling you know, humble for it as well.
I think what is so heartwarming about what you do, and we're going to hit on it a little bit more later on as well, is that you meet women where they are. So, for example, when it comes to your cookery demonstrations, you know, you use your kitchen a lot, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Kids running around all over the place, you know, and people can identify with that because you're real.
Absolutely.
You're
Yes.
absolutely real in your kitchen, doing whatever you're doing in your kitchen, and you know exactly where your potential customers are coming from because they're going to be in their kitchens.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
sometimes I think we forget, you know, that our customers need to hear themselves in what you're doing, otherwise they won't buy.
And
But
we're all women. We have the same struggles, we have the same problems, you know, and it's about sharing that, networking, and just being real, and believing in what you've got to offer.
yeah, and perhaps if you don't believe in that product, perhaps it's time to leave that product and go to a product you believe in. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
you know, so many a time I've walked out of a job, you know, when I was in my sort of 30s, I'd walk out of the job because I didn't believe in the organization anymore, or I didn't believe
Mm-hmm.
in the values, or even the staff, or whoever was
Mm-hmm.
line managing me. And I'd walk away to another organization that suited my values better, that excited me. And I felt as though I was going somewhere to have fun and
Yeah.
actually enjoy myself.
Enjoy your work. Enjoy
Yeah.
your work. Absolutely.
And to know when you're self-employed, your heart has got to be so in it because, you know, you spend so long on your own trying to make sense of it, trying to find clients, trying to do what you're doing. If your heart is not in it and you're not waking up in the morning excited by it, find another product you're going to be excited by. Yeah. It would be so easy for me to switch into becoming like doing what Lucy's doing, because that's another love of mine. I love
Come
cooking.
on, Cheryl. I need more Thermomix advisors. Come on.
But can you see it's so easy to make a switch? Why do we make it so difficult? Yeah. So say, for example, if Mel is looking for another out, yeah, but she loves food, yeah, why isn't she talking to Lucy? Yeah. So if
Absolutely.
yeah. So again, you know, Ellen loves really amazing, nutritious food. And do you remember, Ellen, you were there at the opening of Lucy's studio? Yeah. But again, you know, Ellen, have you gone back to Lucy and actually said to Lucy, I would love to run a healthy eating workshop with you in Newport and invite all my clients, and you invite your clients, and let's do you know, something together on really amazing, nutritious food for women. You know, I feel like saying it's not, I know it's not the word I want to say, peri-normal, but it's not peri. What is that word? Peri something.
Perimenopause.
Peri-menopause.
Perinormal sounds good as well.
So again,
I quite like peri-normal. I'd like
peri-normal.
to be I'd like to be perinormal.
I agree. Perinormal. That's the new word.
So Ellen, would you like to we haven't come to you, Ellen, so you came in just a bit after. So Ellen, what is it that you're doing, and how can we get you really connecting on a sales front here this morning with the women who have joined us?
Well, what I love to sell, but I understand, like Mel said, about the you don't want to sound too I'm amazing, I'm fantastic, and up your own ass kind of thing out there. So we all kind of, I suppose, what I'm trying to come across is doing it from an act of a place of service. How can I help this person instead of what do they think about me? So that helps, I think, when you're trying to approach people to join your business or to try your product or whatever you've got as service. So I'm a member of an amazing company called Arbon. I absolutely love them to bits. So they sell nutritional products, supplements, fantastic 30-day program they've got, and I lead women every month through that. We've got 33 in the group at the moment. And they sell like incredible skincare as well, but I focus on the nutrition. And then I've got my own program that I'm creating at the moment. It's a 21-day weight loss program. So it'll be interesting selling that as well from a perspective of that it's my own little baby that I've created. Looking forward to doing that. Without going into perfection paralysis, because that can happen to me as well. You want it to be as perfect as it can be. And I am in conversations also with Lucy. We have been seeing the potential of working together as well. So yeah, I think you've got to love selling, or you wouldn't be in business, would you really?
That's
It's
right.
got to be an element, because everything we do, either it's selling yourself a service or a product, you've got to enjoy that, or else find a job, isn't it? Really?
And also knowing selling is your job. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you're doing what you're doing, selling is your job. And if you're not selling, you're not doing your job. So I can remember one of the biggest lessons I learned when it comes to selling, when I was, must have been about 28, 29, a long time ago. And I was doing this massive fashion show up in the Coed y Muster, and I had some of the biggest designers on the stage. And we were doing this show for charity, and I had a fashion staging organizer. Again, it was called at that time Paul Baccara Productions, a massive organizer of fashion shows. And my job at the end was to come on stage and to thank everybody. Yeah. And I completely bottled it. And I just got on the stage and I just said, thank you very much and good night. Yeah. Oh gosh, I was in trouble the next day. It cost me a fortune in wine, going round to everybody, giving them a bottle of wine, saying, I'm so sorry, I bottled it. But we forget selling's our job. You know, there are certain things that are difficult to do, but it is our job. And if we're not able to sell, I think it's almost like you've got to get another job, get a job where you're not selling, get a job where you're bean counting or whatever you're doing, but get away from that sales environment. And another thing that I did as a mentor in a very large, it was like a global organization where they were involved in franchising. Their marketing and sales guy, when I went into the company was going downhill fast, couldn't do marketing and selling. And I was thinking, oh my God, I've walked into a company now where marketing and selling isn't working, but the guy at the top of the organization, one of the directors, can't market, don't understand marketing, can't sell. What do you do? So I just set him up to put together a sales and marketing strategy. And of course, he was clueless. So as soon as he was given that task, he just resigned because he realized he just didn't have it. So if you don't have it, it's not your job. You actually can't be an entrepreneur. You need to move on to something else. Move on to something that is somebody's going to put money in your account at the end of the month, no matter what you're doing. But, you know, as an entrepreneur as well, when you compare yourself with having a job, you know, having a job equals so much money. But if you've got a business is absolutely incredible because you're in charge as well of how much money you earn. Yeah. I could never afford to have a job with somebody. They can't afford me compared to what I can earn being an entrepreneur. So again, you know, if you want to be in charge of your own financial destiny, you've got to get a grip on selling and to make this success of your company. Over to you, Julie. Where are you at when it comes to selling? Is it a cringe thing, or are you happy doing it? Or do you feel, because you're in that market where you're helping people, it's a challenge because a lot of people think if you're helping people, you've got to be doing it for free. Otherwise, you don't care.
Absolutely. That is a big challenge. And I've done so much work for free, and I'm not doing any more work for free. It's not happening anymore because I've done so much work for free. But I think the challenge in me is yeah, getting myself out there to the right people. And also what I've found, obviously, because I haven't been sleeping too good at the moment because I've got little puppies and they keep waking me up, like being squashed by their mum and all that stuff. I've been trying to talk to my customers in a way that they know that I understand them from a fibro point of view, but I've also found that I've actually been talking myself back into my fibro symptoms. So it's like, I'm like, I see what I'm doing here. My brain's going back into that mode, and it's like, no. So I've got to find a new way of letting my customers know that I obviously have had, I deal with fibro and I know what it's all about, but in a way that sells the benefits of what I do can make them better, as opposed to me trying to fit in with them. I've got to show the highlights that they think, actually, yes, because, you know, because I have helped do everything myself, and it is all about mindset. Most of it is about mindset, even though when you put that across, it makes it sound like fibromyalgia is in your head, but it's not, because it is all to do with mindset. Your mindset's massive when it comes to having fibro. So that's the difficulty I have, getting into people's heads.
And it is a challenge, you know, because I see women when it comes to RTT, and it's knowing in RTT just how powerful the mind is,
Yeah.
and how many things that happen in life bring on actually physical ailments,
yeah,
because of how we're thinking about ourselves and
yeah,
about the belief structure we're working with. Yes, it really is a big challenge. Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. So over to you, Sarah. Where are you when it comes to sales and selling?
I do believe in my product and my services. So that, like you said, if you don't believe in it, don't love it, which I do love it, that's easier. But I don't like speaking and selling myself on social media. I don't like it at all. And one, definitely I'm much better at selling and, you know, knowing what my clients want, what they like. So you can, you know, especially if I'm selling, if I'm doing facials, I can upsell the products that come with it. That's fine. But to sell the services online, because it's still a new business, trying to attract new customers, I find selling it online quite hard.
Right. Okay. So we'll cover that as well. So I'll put this up I've only prepared one slide, but it's a super powerful slide, and it's one of those slides I only came across, I would say, about 5 years ago, and I wish I'd come across it almost like 45 years ago, because it's just so powerful. So I'm going to share my screen with you and take you into one of my presentations in the amazing Canva. And you can never pull it up in Canva. You've almost just got to keep the whole thing open. So I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share with you as a presentation. Okay. So I'm going to just take a little step back. Looking at, you know, selling without marketing is throwing money down the drain. So we've covered off marketing in the last few sessions we've had, and realizing there's quite a lot of work you've got to do to understand more about the environment within which you're marketing, and also understand, you know, what's happening in the market when it comes to your customers. But today is all about focusing about selling. So this whole selling environment. And this is what I want to share with you, for you to start thinking about how you are positioning your products to sell them. because as Lucy said, once you're really convinced about your products, they're so easy to sell. And this is called a product positioning grid. And what you need to do, I'm going to invite you to do, is to draw this, you know, in front of yourself. Now, draw your own grid and then start positioning your products on a grid. And we're going to do that in light of your competitors, because you need to know how your product compares with that of your competitors in order for you can actually create a business using one of these grids, because you'll find a gap in the market. You'll find a gap where your competitors are not, or you'll find what you are that your competitors are not. So whilst you're drawing your grid and thinking about what goes into your grid. So if I was to look at I Am Woman, okay, I would say when it comes to customer contact, I'm over here on the right. I have so much customer contact you would not believe. So when it comes to I Am Woman Hour, I'm always thinking, what do my clients want? What do my customers want? And I track every one of my customers. You all sit in an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm tracking where are you at and what do you need. So it's maximum customer contact. I'm also, so say for example, just I Am Woman Hour, every week I'll create a new visual and I message every one of you individually, sometimes putting little things at the beginning that actually relate to you. That's all done by hand. It's not a machine. I go into our academy group and put it in there. And then I even send you a reminder half an hour before it's actually happening. So that is maximum customer contact. And I Am Woman Hour is just one part of it. You know, when you come online, everyone gets the chance to introduce themselves, get connections with other people who are on screen. But also then people can come to events, and it's all about our members. And, you know, and I had one member not renew. She said, I want to keep coming to the meetings. I said, no, you can't do that. You've got to be a member. I said, you can come to one meeting, because people can come to one meeting and then they got to join. And if they, you know, if they're not part of us, they can't come. Oh, but aren't you stopping new people coming? And I said, well, no, we only have 35 places at any one event. And I have around 60 members. So all the priority spaces are for my members, not for visitors. You know, if people want to be part of us, you cannot speed date us, you've got to marry us, because I want to make sure that the people who are members are good quality women who are generous with one another, who are all growing, who are not there just targeting on a sales front. So I'm very clear about, you know, who I want to get in the room. And we put a lot of work into getting the right people in the room and getting the right atmosphere in the room. So I'm right over here on customer contact. So I can actually think, okay, I'm right over there. But when it comes to price, I need to know what my competitors are doing. And although I Am Woman is not price sensitive, you know, the bundle that we offer as a membership is around £3,000 worth of value, but we charge about £700 for it, 697. So I'm very clear when I sit here on price, and I can start popping my competitors in with regards to what is it that they're doing that I'm not doing, or what are they doing that I just don't want to get into. So so I can go down here and say, well, there are free networks, there are free online networks, yeah, and they're free, so they're right down here. They're not having a lot of customer contact, so I can actually put the name of that network in there. There are going to be some high priced with very low customer contact networks in there. And when I first started I Am Woman, I did one of these and plotted in where all my competitors were, what was it that they were doing that I wanted to do or I didn't want to do, but actually found a space for I Am Woman in the marketplace. And it's then been very clear. I'm very clear on my price, and I'm very clear on my customer contact. But again, when it comes to selling, am I selling that enough? Yeah. Am I selling how much I care about my members, how much I care about their journey? You know, sometimes we can get so caught up with just putting out the marketing spiel, we forget to put into place, you know, what is it that's in your heart that you actually want to connect with your customers with. So it's really understanding when it comes to product positioning, where do I sit? Because it'll give you a fair feel of that's who your customers are. My customers, I'm not going to go out there on social media targeting women who want free networking, because that's not what I Am Woman is about. Yeah. So again, you know, if you start looking up the grid, okay, where are the women going to be that are going to be in your price grade? Where are they now? Who are they shopping with now? If they're shopping with Ellen, they can shop with Sarah. If they can shop with Sarah, they can then be part of our Thermomix with Lucy. Yeah. So where are your customers shopping? And generally what we do when we first start up in business, because we have a lack of confidence in our price, our service, how we're marketing, we go in too cheap. We're not really accurately pricing what we're doing and taking to the market. And then what happens? We lose confidence because we haven't got enough money in the bank account in order to do what it is we want to do in our business. So I'd love to get your feedback on this, as far as well, how you are starting to think about how you are going to position yourself and your product in the market space there in order for you to find a space in the market for yourself, because you've got to find a space. You've got to find a space that's in tune with your pricing and in tune with your customer contact. Yeah. And it's all got to add up. Otherwise, you could be working for nothing. So I'm going to come to you, Sarah, because you're new within the market space and you're taking products out there into the market space where you're competing heavily. You know, if you're in the beauty and aesthetics arena, there's going to be a price sensitivity there. But it's remembering that people do not shop on price. They will shop on customer experience. They'll shop on how they feel when they do business with you. And they also will be making another booking with you based on the experience they had before. So I'll just give you an example. I went to Sarah's opening and she had an absolutely staggering opening in a beautiful home. She'd already been showcased in Vale Life. I already knew before I was going to attend that event, based on what I'd seen in the marketing arena, how other people were talking about her, I was going to come away after her launch and have a treatment. And it just shows I didn't even know how much this tooth whitening was. And Sarah will tell you, she sent me a bank details. I just stuffed money into her account and she had to pay some money back to me because I didn't actually know how much things cost. I just thought, I want my tooth whitened. I want that experience. I'm going back to that posh house and walking upstairs and going in that clinic and I'm going to have that tooth whitening experience. Yeah. And I just stuffed money into her account because I didn't want to turn up and, you know, not having paid, stuffed the money into account and then said, you've overpaid me and I have to pay some money back to you. But Sarah, what is it like in that space? Emma is starting a business just like you are and probably starting to thinking about how she prices things, you know, and this whole customer contact and how she's going to get customers. So over to you, Sarah. Can you explain to us what it's like for you at the moment, trying to find your space in the market?
Yeah, I'd already done a bit of research before I started the business up. I looked at what's in the area. I knew that we didn't have body contouring in the area. We've got loads of beauticians. So I really did a bit of research. There's loads of people doing Botox. I think I don't want to do anyway. I'm not a nurse. I wouldn't want to inject anybody, to be honest. So I did look at what people have got. The only same machine I haven't got yet, which I will have, the same as my competitors, is going to be the hair laser machine. But again, I wanted a hair laser machine that does every skin color and every hair type, which is not what we've got in the area. So I really started off with that, you know, so then I had a good base of I've got something different than somebody else has got, because I'm in Porthcawl, it's a small, small, you know, so I did have to look around what everybody else is doing. But also I think, again, it comes to, you've got to believe in yourself, haven't you? You know, you have to believe that people are going to come back, and, you know, you're going to, if you do a good service, you know, I rely you know, on my reviews are very important to me. You know, I've only been going like 6-7 weeks anyway, so I'm just starting now to get a pool of my reviews to put them up as well. But, you know, it's not easy, and it's something that you've, like, even though I'm working as all the time, like on my day off on a Monday, that's my day when I sit down to really look at the marketing, the pricing structure and things like that. I mean, you are right. I was told a long time ago, if I went in too cheap, I would be stuck doing that cheap price all the time. You know, people would expect that. So what I do is I sort of do more of an offer, like a January offer, February offer, and then I'm looking then to go back up to my original pricing structure from April.
Okay, so we're going to put you on the spot a bit. So when it came to you starting your business, yeah, how much money did you set aside to start the business and start marketing?
Not a lot. You know, my husband has got his own business, and, you know, that's a very successful business, but I didn't want to take all the money off that business to start a new business. So some of the machines I hire, and some of them I buy, you know. So for the marketing side of it, though, I knew that I had to reach as big a target audience as I could, because the machines I have got, the treatments I do, they are quite high end. They're not, you know, cheap treatments at all. So that is why I set aside, like, I sort of set aside a budget of about £5,000, because I rent some of them. I bought the teeth laser right out. And then when I knew I wanted to go in the Vale, because I know the Vale Life magazine's everywhere. And the type of market I was looking at, that's my customers. A lot of women read it. I used to I read them all the time. Even if I got the hairdressers, I'd pick it up. So I knew I wanted to go in that. I just didn't have a clue how much it was going to cost me. Until I got, you know, when I got over to Mark then and Jen and they came, I thought I'd have enough money just for a little advert at the site, a little advert in there. But when they came and they explained about the price, it wasn't that as expensive as I thought it was. And I was very lucky that they put me on the cover for nothing as well. So, but yeah, and I mean, I've still, you know, still got to look at how much I got to spend. You know, it's a new business, so I'm probably not, even though I'm making, you know, it's turning over quite good money for the 8 weeks that I've been open. It's going back into it because I've got to keep on pushing and keep on, you know, it's a new business. They are high-end treatments, and the way, you know, the economy is at the minute is something that's got to be, I know I've got to work at it.
Okay, so can you see, very clear about who her target customer is? Because you're selling to the world, one person at a time. But she's very clear who that one person is and can then bulk it out. So Sarah asked the question, what about social media? So imagine there's hot and cold. When you're entering the social media market, everyone is cold. So it's blue, it's cold. So if you're spending a lot of time and energy going into a cold market, it's going to take you a lot longer to build up a customer base. But if you're very clear about where your customers are, you can just go, it's almost like a missile. You can go straight in as a missile and get those customers. So say, for example, probably the best use of, if Sarah's got half an hour, is not jumping onto social media. It's Sarah talking to Julie, talking to Mel, talking to Ellen, talking to Lynn, talking to Emma. And so it is about looking at, okay, where are my customers? I have these customers. Where are they? Lucy's got your customers. Probably, you know, working our way back, Mel has got your customers, Julie's got your customers, Ellen's got your customers. So it's looking at, you know, why are we putting such a huge, it's almost like as though we feel a failure if we're not on social media every day, 6 or 7 times a day. Whereas really what we're doing, we're looking for customers that can offer us this value this week or this year, and it's finding out where they are. And it's really interesting if you were to just sit and watch, you know, when you're watching the TV and the adverts come on, you know those adverts are tailored for that audience. So when it comes to Downton Abbey, yeah, they're doing all the reruns on, I think it's on ITV3. You can see Downton Abbey, the breaks in Downton Abbey, they're targeting those customers based on the kind of adverts they've got running. So, you know, it's the same thing. We're looking for where are our customers and what's going to be the quickest, easiest, and simplest vehicle to get to those customers. And it's going to be a mixture of things that we're going to do in order to get to them, you know, and it's you thinking through, okay, how can I get to my customers? But then it's so important you're actually saying the right thing. Am I actually saying the right thing even when I get to these customers? Are they going to hear themselves in what I'm saying? So over to you, Ellen. Can you associate with this product positioning grid, and can you see where you are on it? And is there a gap for you? Should you be perhaps performing better? How can you position yourself on this positioning grid?
I think there's always room for improvement and growth. Yeah, I mean, pricing the new product I'm creating now for the weight loss plan, I might have a word with you about it actually. It's good to bounce your ideas off of the people, because when you're alone at home and you're thinking about, okay, what do I need to do? How much information and value are they getting from it? How do I price it? What's my target audience? There's a lot that goes into it, isn't it? And you want to get it right from the word go. So, and I mean, with the Arbonne products that I do, that they're already priced, and you do see after being in it now the type of customer that you attract through a high premium product who's attracted towards that, and those actually are then the clients that you want to upsell and offer the other service you have for them. So yeah, definitely I relate to what you said about social media. It's a shop window, isn't it? It's not the sole place where you kind of find your clients. Yeah, and it is about keeping in touch with them, making conversations, even in the coffee shop, waiting in the queue for your coffee. I always start and make conversations with people then, make connections.
And people are to a large extent buying you. So again, how are people perceiving you? Because I can remember, this will make Sarah laugh, I went to a salon for I think it was like for a massage. I booked in for a nice hot stone massage, and the therapist turned up in this black outfit that was absolutely filthy dirty. And yet I could see she had a mood on her. And I immediately said, no, I'm not having my treatment today, thank you. I said, no, I mean, no, you're in a bad place. I just don't want that, you know. And at the end of the day, she's representing a business. And I'm thinking, I'm not buying into that. So start thinking about, you know, how are you turning up? And what are people actually buying? So are they buying happiness? Are they buying joy? What are they buying from you? That's almost like is there and part of the picture that they're not seeing. So if I turned up at Sarah's premises, you know, for the launch, and you know, it didn't match with what I think of going out for a luxury treatment, I wouldn't be booking a treatment there. But I knew she'd been recommended to me. I know it wasn't going to be a bad recommendation, because it came from Jenna Mark saying, come along and meet Sarah, you'll love her. So I knew via this recommendation that I was going to be doing business with Sarah. So again, you know, are you recommending each other enough? Do you understand what each other does? I can remember, Ellen, you saying to me, oh, sometimes I get so stuck, you know, and I feel so alone, you know, and I feel as though, you know, I need somebody to talk to. And I said to Ellen, I'm your mentor. why don't you drop me a message and we can have a chat? Is it that we just don't want to offend each other or trouble each other? Do we think we're trouble? And we're just not getting to that next piece of recognizing, we're all here growing together and here to help one another to sell. And, I don't think any one of you has asked me for a recommendation, yeah, or to refer you to anyone. So again, I have a massive network, but who's going to ask me to refer business to them? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Actually asking, oh, could you refer some business to me? Emma is an amazing referrer. She's forever inviting people to come along to Iron Woman. She's absolutely fantastic. But Emma hasn't asked me for a referral. Yeah. So who do you know, Cheryl, that could help me? I'm looking to get into so-and-so, so-and-so. Who do you know that could help me as part of this journey? Yeah. We forget that's selling. Yeah. We all do selling in a different way. Why isn't Sarah Gardner asking me, oh, Cheryl, you've got all these women now in Iron Woman. Can you actually recommend some women to come to me? I'm going to be doing a little coffee morning or whatever. Yeah. Could you invite some people along to come and see me? Will Sarah's actually speak to Lucy Wiley for Lucy to come and do a Thermomix demonstration in Sarah's for Sarah's customers? Because after all, perhaps your customers are getting a bit bored and they're thinking, oh, I don't want to go and listen to Sarah talk about blah, blah, blah again. Oh, Sarah's doing a coffee morning with Lucy. Oh, she's got this woman there that does this. Oh, and whilst Sarah's there, Lucy's bringing in her customers, Sarah's bringing, so there's a whole cross-pollination happening. So it's really interesting to start thinking about, how well do you know your where you sit when it comes to your competitors? Are you competing on price? I wouldn't compete on price because women buy on service, how you make them feel. So again, if you're pushing your price down, thinking you want to be competitive, it doesn't work in the female luxury market. And we're all in that female luxury market. So, forget about the price and think about that whole customer experience, customer contact. And how can you make it so that, women are so excited to come and see you. They can't wait to come and see you and they're ready to do business with you. So we get into that time when we've only got 5 minutes left. So I'd like to do like a sweep up with you. What have you learned this morning? It could be about this product positioning. It could be from what each one of you have said to one another. Before you leave this morning, please, can you put your contact details in the chat box so that everyone goes away and they've got everyone else's contact details to do some business with after today. Ellen, what have you got from today and what follow-up action are you going to do, including who you're going to be doing with business on screen with today?
I think it's those days where you think, oh, I don't know where to get my next customer from. It's realizing that there's so many different avenues really that you can tap into.
Yeah.
That you're creating that limiting belief within yourself. So it is, and like you said, sometimes it's right under here, but we're not seeing it. So it's about that, I think. It's about realizing what's in front of me instead of, yeah.
So who are you going to follow up with today and do some
Oh,
selling with?
Lucy and I are arranging a meeting. So yeah, following through with that, really.
Okay, who else? What?
I've just messaged you, Ellen.
There you go. Lovely.
So who else are you doing business with today, Ellen?
Julia and I have been in contact, so we need to arrange a little Zoom. I didn't realize she lived as far away as she does, so we're gonna have a little Zoom as well. Sarah and I have met already.
Hey.
Yeah.
So are you doing some business together?
I've taken a leaflet off her about a service she's offering. Yes, I'm interested in booking that with her. So yeah, definitely.
And remember, Ellen does menopause stuff, yeah, pre-normal stuff. Ellen does menopause stuff. And it's remembering that Sarah's got this sit on and tighten up everything downstairs. So again, Ellen could bring some of her clients to the launch of this tightening everything up launch with Sarah. So I just want us all to start sort of thinking,
Yeah.
we're all going to do business together after today. Over to you, Sarah. What are your follow-up actions going to be, and who are you going to be following through and doing business with?
Well, I've got a new shop, so I am moving. I've got on the 27th of February. So I'm hoping to invite everybody down for that. I'm just going to do like an open day type of thing, not as big as launch as what I had in the house. But I'm definitely going to be doing that. So that is going to take up my time over the next few weeks. And of course, I'm speaking in the I Am Woman, so that's going to take up my time as well. But yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Like every one of these ladies, they've all got customers for everybody, you know, definitely. And that's, you know, that's what it is. And that's what I've taken away more from today than, like you said, sitting down, panicking, I've got to get on Facebook. It's literally about networking and getting, you know, with these ladies and getting chats back and forth, see how we can help each other.
Yeah, and start thinking about, if you've met Ellen, is Ellen on a spreadsheet? And you check in on that spreadsheet to say, when was the last time I spoke to Ellen? Yeah, we said that Ellen was going to come in for a treatment and I was going to, you know, do a treatment for her. Have we done that? So keep the whole thing warm as opposed to it just stopping. Yeah, because life gets busy and then we just forget about stuff. Yeah. So over to you then, Lucy. What have you learned? What are you going to put into action? How are you going to be doing business today?
So I'd love to chat to Sarah because I've thought of a few ideas in which you can advertise. I've got so many friends, you know, this tightening of down below is a huge new topic. And I think you could use social media if you're not comfortable using it yourself. Find people who are and have that treatment and are happy to talk about it, because the Jude supplements, I'm not sure if you've seen it on social media, is massive. And I think that would make a huge impact for that one treatment. You interested me, Cheryl, in what you said about when you put me in a target, you were saying about high-end women, you know, leaders. And although that's correct, I sell to everybody, you know, just and Julie, fibromyalgia is a massive market for us because I've got so many people who use the Thermix sitting down, so they don't have to be standing in the kitchen. So, you know, Julie, if you ever want to chat about that, and I'm always happy to help anyone as far as social media is concerned, because it's something I just find easy, and I have a big network, so I'm always happy to share services or my customers.
There you go. What a lovely pitch. And Ellen, you missed the opportunity to pitch to Sarah some of your treatments that link with that sitting down machine. Yeah. So again, we have, you know, the pre-normal sitting down machine, tighten everything up. You have supplements too, and treatments and online products. Yeah. So it's almost like tying them all together. Yeah. So I don't know if Lynn is there. Lynn, are you there? She might not be there. Okay. Julie, over to you. What have you got from this morning's session, and how are you going to be progressing some sales and business?
So yeah, that we have all got each other's customers, and it's not about panicking and reinventing the wheel. It's like looking who you know and seeing who can direct who they know to you. So all about networking, really. So yeah, I'm going to be contacting everybody. Watch out.
Please remember to do a download on the contact list of everyone there. So over to you, Mel. So what are you going to be doing? Who are you going to be doing some business with today?
Right, I have been listening. Sorry, I've had things happening, so I've had to dash away for a bit, but I have been listening. So definitely for me, I know that we've talked about sort of, you know, the fact that I normally freelance for other people. So looking at the ways in which I can take my leadership training out directly to people. For example, I had a chat with Miriam and Ellen. I mentioned something briefly to you at the last I Am Woman meeting, because kind of along the lines of what you were saying. So thinking outside of ILM as much as IOL is great. And I'm more than confident delivering the content for that. But what I like to do is go off track and look at the sort of mental, emotional, human side of leadership. And that's where I think my strength is. And so looking at that, I was talking to Miriam and Ellen briefly about possibly combining some leadership training and offering, for example, with Miriam, we were looking at a well-being day for leaders, where we take them out on a walk. They can do some painting with Miriam. They can do some leadership stuff with me. And the same with Ellen, because obviously menopause is a massive, massive thing. So I think that's where I need to start going, is looking outside of the typical, IOL units and modules and things, which I can still do, but that's fine because I do that with my eyes shut. But it's the other stuff that I think I need to start bringing in and taking it a bit off track and doing things like with Miriam and Ellen. I mean, yeah, possibly even Sarah, because I'm really good at bigging other people up and saying, you should talk to this person. She's awesome. She does this, she does that. But I'm not so good at saying, this is what I do and this is how I can help you. So that's where my focus needs to be now, I think.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Mel. And over to you, Emma. So I know you came in late on the link. But what have you got out of this morning and what are you going to be doing?
Just quickly, yes, I had a meeting beforehand, sorry, but I was desperate to sort of come on board. So I just feel I'm learning lots from, even if I just spend 20 minutes with you. So for Ellen, one of the biggest things that attracted me to working with Ellen was around somebody I seen in the I Am Women group, and she just looked absolutely amazing from the last time I seen her. I just said to her, what have you been doing? Because your skin looks amazing. And she told me that she'd been working with her Ellen. So that was one of the reasons why I've contacted Ellen, and hopefully we get to meet this week. So just wanted to tell Ellen that, but like before and after pictures or just witness testimonies. But for me, Cheryl, is the biggest thing for me was around where I position myself and how much I'm charging. And everything you said about undercharging, not knowing where to position yourself, I feel I've learned that quite a tough way over the last sort of 2 years, but it's definitely becoming sort of much clearer since I've become a member. So I like the close to your heart thing. And for me, my close to my heart is making things better for children and young people. And that's where I sort of specialize in leadership. So that's what I've got to start positioning myself a lot more, is using leadership management to increase outcomes for children and young people. And I also think there's a way for me to work with Mel, because my specialism is sort of research and leadership management, but I don't do the ILM stuff. And I am looking at writing and developing more courses to specialize in ILM. And I could work with Miriam and Ellen, and because I would be really up for designing a course for sort of well-being within leaders, and we could also get it endorsed with a National Academy for Educational Leadership. There's loads of female education leaders that are going through the menopause or even thinking outside. So I think there's a way that about 4 or 5 of us could sort of work together on that. So just one simple fact, the number of people that don't take all their annual leave, I think it's like 79% in the recent stats and data. They don't take their annual leave, so they're not having a break, they're not having that recharge. So I think there's a definitely way that a few of us could work together. And Cheryl, one of the things when I come and speak to you is about your links with some of ILM, because you went to the launch recently, and I think I need to, get more into that as well. So sorry, quick whistle stop tour into everything that I'm looking at, but you can see the things that you're telling me, I'm really enjoying and gonna put it back into my workplace, back into my business.
It's only been a small group this morning, but it's wonderful having a small group because you can all do business with one another. 'Cause you've got time and space to share. Julie, did we get your feedback from this morning? What you got out of it and what you're going to do and who you're going to do business with?
The door went. Somebody was at the door. How rude! I was waiting for them to collect a parcel because they delivered the wrong kind of dog food, so I had to send it back. So they were coming to collect it. So what have I got out this morning? Yeah, just that we are all under each other's noses, and we just need to connect more and help one another more, and that's keep it simple.
And it's almost like knowing, I can remember somebody saying to me, you've got to know more about that other person's business than they do themselves for you to see your opportunities of what you do in their business, because they won't know that they can do business with you. And if you knowing enough about their business to say, hey, there's an opportunity here for me to get into their business and do X, Y, and Z. So it'd be really good for you after this morning to, you know, have a coffee with one another, explore what that other person does, and then look for your opportunity in their business. So I just want to thank you all for coming online. I'll be popping the recording link up in the I'm Woman Academy. So yeah, look forward to seeing you next Monday. And have a great week, everyone. And I'll be seeing Sarah in about half an hour's time. So have a great week and see you all soon. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.